Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you are new. So I am participating again in Themed Friday, which is a group hop that a couple of us all started, but this time it is a clean and simple card. So I wanted to do something which is kind of clean and simple but also very effective and kind of looks like it's very complicated to some people. I mean, if you showed me this card a couple of months ago, I would have said there's no way I could recreate that, and here I am. So I got this die off of, I think it was either eBay or Temu, I'm not entirely sure, but if I can find it I will link it. And it was one of those dies where I loved all of the inspo pictures, and then I bought it and I was like, what did I buy this for? Where was I going to use this? But overall, after making this card, I just feel so much inspiration just flooding through me. So yeah, I definitely recommend, if you see a die or a stamp or something that you really want to try and you're not entirely sure, buy it anyways. And then if you don't like it, you can always resell your stamp or your die, or you could gift it to a friend or a family member who's into card making. There's just endless possibilities of way of doing it. I do kind of wish there was a stamp drive where basically people from certain areas, so say because I'm from the UK, I'd love one for being in the UK where you could have this place where you donate, or you can do a swap with a stamp for the same value or of the same value, you know what I mean? That way we're not wasting stamps, they're not being left and just forgotten about, and they're being reused and repurposed. And I think that's something I wish would a new thing, especially with the environment in mind and stuff. So, but anyways, I am using Speckled Egg for one of my tree layers. I am then using Minty Fresh, which is a L'Enfance ink, which I got from a Facebook D-Stash group, for another tree layer. And then for my front layer, I obviously used that die that you saw earlier. And then I just ended up using the little stag or reindeer, as you might call it, and then the North Pole stamp. So you could totally try and find a way of coloring that in, but I didn't really want to do something. I wanted my trees and stuff to pop and be the main focal, rather than everything that could take over. But you may see the stamp come up quite a lot over the next couple of weeks, because I think it's just a great card, stamp set I should say, to create multiple different cards. And these trees don't necessarily have to be for winter, they could be used for any sort of tree layer. So you could use these in a different color combination and have autumn trees, you could do the same for spring. There's just no reason for it to just be limited for one thing. So as you can see, I'm just pulling things out. So I did actually plan this card. Now normally I don't plan my cards, I just wing it the majority of the time, or I look at inspo pictures and sort of go from there. But this one I actually did plan it in my stamping platform. I laid everything out and then did color swatches of my inks to find the right inks that I wanted. So this card actually was very quick and simple to make. I'm saying that and I'm looking at the timeline of how long this actually took, and it took just over 18 minutes to create this card. So I think this is also a great card to create as a batch make, because if you have multiple stamping platforms, you could totally just have one layer of trees in one MISTI, another one in another one, and then so on. So that way you can just take one card out of it, put it into the next stamp platform, and then the next one, and then you'll be done. And I think that could be a really good way of getting mass productions of this. But also, this is the first time you'll see me use enamel dots. Normally I stick with pearls or sequins, but I did buy some enamel dots for first time in my life, and I do have to say there are great ways of adding a pop of color, but not too much. I do kind of wish though they weren't so expensive for what they are, you know what I mean? So you could use Nouveau drops if you wanted, but I wanted that instant done, not having to worry about it. But I will link everything I used in my description. Go and head over to Instagram and follow along for the hashtag of Themed Fridays. So originally my friend Lucy organized this. She's called Cards and Crafty Things, and you may have seen her on my channel a couple of times or on my Instagram, because we do a lot of one-on-one collaborations. That's how we met. And basically, obviously, she got pregnant, so, you know, her having to do work and, you know, having the pregnancy and stuff, I know it can be quite draining. So she decided to take a step back away from social media a couple of times, and she decided that she was gonna either close the theme Fridays, so I think it was this one that would be her last one, and that would be like the end of it for everybody else as well. But we did all talk about it in the group if we wanted to continue. Would somebody else be wanting to, you know, take over and organize the things and just add the graphics and the listings and stuff? And a couple of us, you know, volunteered for it. But I think the person that's took over, called Kim from Touch of Magic, I think it's a great way for her to, you know, expand her skill set and her knowledge of how to do graphics and stuff. But I also think it's also a very, like, great thing for her to, because, like, I've organized many hops. The other Kelly from the States, she's organized many hops. And then there's another girl, I can't remember her name, but she's organized a lot of hops. So I feel like having somebody that hasn't done it gives them that challenge, but also gives them, like, more of, like, into the back of, like, how much actually goes into it. So one thing that I have noticed with the Christmas hop that me and my friend Maria are doing at the moment, I have noticed, like, because of the time difference, it is so stressful, because obviously the UK is, like, ahead of time compared to the States, and it can be quite frustrating, you know, like, there are some times where I get so annoyed with some people in my group because, like, they're constantly asking questions. Like, I don't mind the questions, it's the fact of the time where they were messaging me, so it was, like, 3 a.m. for me, like, you know, sometimes I'm just like, oh, God. So, luckily, I did find out that there is a quiet mode for Instagram, so that from a certain period of time that I set, nothing will come through until the following morning where I go back into my socials. But, like, me and my friend Maria, we're both from the UK, so we set our time preferences for the UK. So we generally are supposed to upload at 6 p.m. British Standard Time every Monday until, like, I think it's like the first to the last week of Christmas, like 1 week before Christmas Day. And, like, I've had like 6 people already, like, you know, to do something totally different, post it a day early. You know, I mean, I can understand that some people, you know, have things to do or work or whatnot, but, you know, it's just kind of becoming a little bit of a pain because I wanted it to be at a certain time preference for everybody, so that way we could all just go through it and then you don't have to wait around for everybody to post. But apparently that is totally backfiring, so I'm thinking of changing it. I'm going to talk to my friend Maria about it, but we're going to change it hopefully to where you can post it as long as it's posted at some time on Monday before the end of Monday, like midnight, which is a Tuesday in the UK. As long as you post before that, I think that's going to be okay, you know, and then everybody can go through it on Tuesday and, you know, flick through. But anyways, I'm going to insert some music. I'm so sorry for rambling. I'm going to insert the music, speed this up, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe. Go over to my Instagram, follow me over there, and if you want to participate in any of the hops, give me a message and we'll get that sorted for you, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.